Yeah. This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Let's go.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
On the show today, we caught up with Olivia and Jackson from Married at First Sight, this year's most controversial couple, I think it's safe to say.
We approached it calmly instead of screaming water monkeys. Yes. Monkeys? Squirrel monkeys.
Squirrel monkeys.
Wildebeest.
Oh, big news this morning. We do talk about dreams that can come true. This is pretty
Nathan's
full on.
dreams have come true.
Powers, he's coming
All
to his
his
powers.
dreams have come true.
You're going to hear a story about the shortest, saddest date ever. Oh. And then you're going to hear people try to compete with it. And one guy got very, very close.
Yeah. Amazing stories.
Yep.
Plus, well, I don't want to say inspired by Will Smith, but after the incident that happened at the Oscars and Chris Rock just having to soldier on in the face of extreme adversity, we talked to other people that had to do that as well.
Yep. And you know what? We've been showing you the car crash, which has been the rounds of holiday trailers. Today, we're going to give you Steve and Derek, and they're going to demonstrate how it's supposed to be done. Oh,
they did a great job. And we caught up with Neroli Meadows as well, sports journo, who's currently living the dream in India.
This is Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
So we all witnessed it yesterday, and
talk about
it's an interesting moment in time because you will see it forevermore. This is a moment in Oscars history.
No.
For all the wrong reasons.
Slap that the world felt. Will Smith, of course, was sitting in the audience with his wife, Jada, and Chris Rock was up there doing what comedians do, which is roast the celebrities. And
they do it every time.
And we know that celebrities, they get harsher and harsher, but yet... You know,
I'm no great fan of Chris Rock, and I don't think it was a great joke.
He's funny.
I don't think
it was funny.
I don't think the reaction.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's not warranted.
Yeah.
No, violence is not warranted because somebody said something mean.
Yeah. The interesting thing was that when the joke was said, Jada rolled her eyes because Will had initially laughed at it.
Yes, he laughed at it. Yeah.
Jada had rolled her eyes, and then we didn't see what happened during that moment.
Yeah,
but next minute, Will stormed the stage. This is how it went down.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard.
Bang, slap her on the face.
Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
I mean,
one that will be remembered
gig for him to come back from that.
Now, we do know that Jada has been suffering from alopecia, so that's when your hair falls out. From stress.
Oh, there's no doubt it was a bad taste joke.
Yeah. But it's like, and when it was happening, because when I saw it, I was like,
is this a bit?
Well, straight away, because the hit didn't look really real.
No.
And then when he sat down, and then he said, keep your wife's name out my mouth, out your mouth. That first time I was like, oh, okay, this is part of the bit.
Yep.
But it looks a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
Then when he repeats it,
it was very
super aggressive.
Well, that's what everybody in the room was feeling as well. Yeah. You could tell at the beginning, they're like, this is really, maybe it's not funny. Like,
Interestingly, the American audience didn't see any of this because it was cut out. Australia got the live feed. So then the only way Americans found out about it was from the clips resurfacing from Australia.
Yeah, right.
And then suddenly that's why they're all, you would have seen Oscar parties around the place and Oscar dinners.
Bedlam.
People like clamoring around phones going, what just happened? What did we miss out on? They were on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then it really drove it home because there was another shot of someone took it from the balcony of Bradley Cooper and Denzel Washington and that going up there and speaking to Will, and then then all the publicists around Will and stuff going, okay, this is serious. Then there was his acceptance speech for Best Actor for King Richard when he was really fully emotional.
Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you. I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. This is a beautiful moment. Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said. I look like crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams. But love will make you do crazy things.
I'm so
Not a great excuse
I'm
there,
so
Nat.
offended by that last statement.
Yeah, because you can't use that.
He's using that to justify
Yeah,
violence,
yeah,
and that is
yeah.
not a justification
No,
of
not
violence.
at all.
You know what
Not
the
at all.
answer to that situation, or one of the answers would have been? To grab your wife's hand,
Yes.
stand up, and
Walk
leave
out.
the auditorium.
That's right.
And that in itself would have probably made as much headlines.
That's
as,
right. And people would have
as
supported
this.
Can I
you.
go back to the start anyway? And Chris Rock. We've heard many Oscars. People get
Oh,
ribbed
mate.
and things are said
Yes.
that are in poor taste
yeah.
every
Yes,
single
it's not a
year.
new thing.
And that's not on the Oscars. That's on just about every hosting gig we've seen.
Yeah,
Some
Golden
of the
Globes.
jokes that you think, we go,
They
oh,
don't
gee,
land.
that's low blow. They
Yeah.
don't land. They're not
Yeah.
even funny.
Some of them are
They're
actually
rude.
outright vicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we don't know what Jada's been going through. So Jada might have had a really emotional night.
Yeah.
That might, like it could have been, that week
Yes.
they could have been talking about her alopecia and it could have really been raw for her. But the answer isn't getting up there and smacking someone. And Kathy Griffin actually tweeted something really interesting, and she was, this sets a really dangerous precedent for anybody that's at anybody
Yes.
that is at a comedy show and doesn't
right.
agree with what's being said can now probably think, well, Will Smith did it at
Yeah.
the Oscars. I'm going to go up there and smack that comedian in the face. I would not want to be the comedian that's hosting the next Oscars.
Well, it's a host of material that he's going to start with. for
Maybe
free.
get The Rock to do it. That might be the safest way.
And we just want to quickly go back to Will Smith has posted an apology, by the way.
Yes, a written apology on Instagram where he
Yep.
does apologise to
A joke about Jada's
Chris
medical
Rock.
condition was too much for me to bear and I reacted emotionally. I'd like to apologise to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed
Yes.
by my actions, not indicative of the man that I want to be. There is no place of violence in a world of love and kindness. Apologise to the Academy, to the Williams family, and to everybody that was there. I'm still a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. But let's go back to Chris Rock. He, for the rest of the night, because you heard him having to
Yes.
go on and present another category
He did.
then after being freshly slapped in the face. He had to go and present the rest of that night.
Yes.
I don't know how
I
he
know.
went on. But he made a quick quip about it
Yes.
when he was talking.
I mean,
but
which
then-
is
Like he
good
had
work
to
on
go
your
on and
feet.
present another category.
In good humour. Like he can't
While the person
dwell
that
on
just
it.
smacked it
Is a few metres away.
Yeah, metres away in the crowd.
watching him. I know. Extraordinary effort. And as I said, I'm not a massive fan of Chris Rock, but kudos to him for carrying on
yeah.
in that situation.
Make up for missed holidays with whatif.com this Easter. Ocean view apartment for us, water park for the kids.
Plus, select hotels are fully refundable. Booking cancellation windows apply.
What if it's Aussie for travel? Check government advisories before booking and travelling.
Of course, we all saw what happened at the Oscars. Extraordinary. And, really took the shine off a lot of amazing other people who won awards and movies that won awards. And
Does
nobody's
anyone
talking
really
about it at all.
But anyway, at the end of the day, most people just talk about what everybody's wearing. That's
Well,
how
that's
the
true.
Oscars normally
That is
end up.
true.
And a lot of people look fantastic.
Yeah, and Chris looked amazing because he wore Will Smith's hand on his face, and then had to keep on going straight afterwards, and you could see him stumble afterwards. He's like, that would have been mortifying, embarrassing. It would have been
Yes.
like when you accidentally go through a red light,
And you'd
that feeling you
you'd
get.
be thinking it in your head the whole time, thinking, and is what's coming out of my mouth next?
Yes.
Is that going to offend the
You've
next
just been
person?
smacked by the Fresh Prince.
So that's what we're talking about. When you just had to carry on regardless, even though something quite serious has happened.
Hi, Anel.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay.
Hi, Al.
What happened, Anel?
So when I was about 11 or 12, a kid ran into me head first and broke my nose at school. And I played footy at the time, and it was our semi-finals that weekend.
Yeah.
And we went to the doctor, and my dad asked the doctor if I could still play with a broken nose.
Yeah.
And they came to the conclusion that I could, because even if it got any more broken, they were going to fix it anyway.
Yeah, I
So you
like
got your
it.
nose all over your face.
Anel.
You have to. And you're going to play footy.
And, and I have never, ever been kicked in the face on the mark in footy before that day, and it's never happened again. And they just plugged me up and stuck me straight back on.
So you're standing on the mark and the person's kicked the ball straight into your face.
Yes, yep.
Oh my God. And now, how did the nose recover?
It's fine now. They did a pretty good job, to be honest.
Did they get it straight and everything?
Oh, they got the Cindy Crawford onto it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Maybe because I was young enough, it would just healed up pretty good.
Bounce
but
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't even be able to tell now.
Oh, amazing. Well, that's a happy
You're
story.
very lucky.
Good on you,
I
Anel.
don't
Thank
break a
you.
nose. I take a month off doing everything.
Patrick's in for Yarra Waters. Hi, Patrick.
G'day, guys. How are you?
Hey,
Good,
Pat.
mate. Okay, what happened?
All right, so I want to set the scene for you here. I was a host on the equivalent of a glass-bottom boat in the UK.
Okay.
It's a tourist environment. We've got 80 people on board. We're hooked up to a internal PA. Captain bips me and goes, "Boys, boat's sinking." I've gone, "Yeah, righto, champ."
And you know it's true because you can look down the glass bottom and see the bottom of the ocean getting closer.
Pat, what happened?
I look to my team on the left, and one of them just starts nodding frantically. I've gone, "Yeah, right, okay." The water started spooling on the left side. We were losing buoyancy. The boat was quite legitimately sinking.
Yes.
So in the moment, I've got 80 passengers on board. We're turning around. We haven't told anyone. And I've started just telling people on your right.
There's a mermaid. Oh, my God, there's a mermaid. Keep looking. You'll see her.
There were lots of things on their right for about 20 minutes.
So what were you pointing at? Like, what could you...
Look, in the moment, I was getting sort of things through my PA because I'm not a local to the place. But
Yes.
I was just there for the accent. So, rock formation, historic. Yeah.
Pat. And everybody survived, right?
Oh, yeah, we're
Great.
fine. We got back and,
Great news.
everyone was wet, but they figured it out. Yeah.
Okay, that is
Amazing.
so funny.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Let me tell you a story of,
Love?
well, failed love.
Hope?
Crushed hope.
Crushed hope.
Didn't work out well.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, set the scene for me, friend.
This guy has posted this. Last night, I went on what could be described as the shortest and saddest Tinder date ever.
Oh, goodness. That's a pretty low bar, I would imagine.
Yeah. The girl was really cute.
Oh.
And she seemed really interested in getting to know me. She was so keen to hang out with me that she suggested that I pick her up at her place. I agreed. Cut us to us driving in her car. She was even more attractive in person. Conversation was not an obstacle either, Shaun. We're having a good time, laughing.
That would
bonding.
be...
Wouldn't that
It was
feel
happening.
good?
The
Wouldn't that be
sparks
feel
were flying.
good? Yeah.
Until she told him to drive to a location that was not on our date location. It was a friend's house. There was something of hers that the friend had which she needed back. The house happened to be on our way, so I didn't really mind. When we got there, she went inside and I waited in the driveway. I waited for about 10 minutes before I sent my first message requesting an update. No response. Eventually I called. Still nothing.
So that's been fun. She's just inside the house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Finally, I decided to walk up to the house and knock on the door.
Okay, yep.
A tall guy answered the door. He's good looking.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It was a classic case of not the kind of guy the girls bring home to their parents.
Yeah, right. You don't want to mess with this bloke.
Yeah. He asked if I wanted to come in, and I said, I'm actually waiting for my date to come out so we could leave. He told me she's not coming out anytime soon because she's having sex with his roommate.
What are you talking about? But she's just gone into this house.
She's going to pick up her cardigan or something, wasn't she?
I don't know what my facial expression was at the moment, but the tattooed guy decided to hug me without warning. And he said that he used to sleep with her too.
Oh.
And based on his experience, there are better girls out there.
Oh.
Not gonna lie, I did shed a tear or two on my way home because he thought it was the one.
Yeah.
Well, he's having
That
that
was
great
They had a proper
conversation.
real connection.
This morning, I received a message from my so-called date. In the message, she blamed the striking Uber drivers in my country for forcing her to find other ways of getting car rides.
I mean, she's a smart girl.
She's been
So
setting up
she's used
dates.
Tinder as
used
Uber.
Tinder.
Let's go out for a date, and she gets that person to drop her off when she
Yeah.
wants to go
Can
and
you
then
pick me
just
up
doesn't
and drop
come
me off
back
over
out.
there.
But, you know,
I mean, that's so
she didn't just
clever.
go in.
So
She
clever.
didn't go, oh, okay, I just need to lift over to mate's
Yeah.
house and we're going to have a couple of wines in the backyard and all, I don't know, whatever. She's in there getting it on.
Yeah, straight
That-
away. But also, yeah.
Another guy
Maybe
shared
just-
his story.
Yeah. Oh, God, there's more.
Another guy shared his story, and he said that he had met up with a date at a bar, and he was trying to put his best foot forward. So he bought her dinner and bought her drinks and this sort of stuff. And then as something was happening, he noticed that her friends were all there, and there were more and more of them, more of them. And then,
What a coincidence.
Long story short, she basically at the end of the date, after piling on the drinks, said that she was just there with him so she could preload for free.
Oh. So, and then
she
hang
got her
out with the
friends.
girls.
Is that mean or ingenious?
Women, stop doing this. You're giving the rest of us a bad name.
It's mean genius.
I love it.
No.
We're not all like that.
Nat can pay her own way.
Yeah, that's right.
You won't be able to shake Nat.
I'll pay for my own drinks.
You buy her a meal, she'll be around for months.
You don't have to buy me a meal. I'm happy to pay for it myself.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
Imagine being on a date and then realising that you were just being used as an Uber driver, essentially.
So bad.
And the girl wasn't just after a lift. She was hooking up with somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody else
Yeah,
while you're waiting.
Upon reflections, pretty sad dates.
Yeah.
Pretty short dates. Dates where you're possibly used.
Ali's in Kelmscott. Good morning, Ali.
Good morning.
Hi, Ali.
Ali, talk to us about this date. What happened?
I'd met a nice young man and he invited me to go to his place and then we would go out for dinner. My first warning should have been he lived in Medina, so he may have been dodgy. But he was a visitor.
Have you tried the Medina Tavern?
Of Medina.
The Base Road Tavern is a great...
There are some upstanding Medina men, I have to say.
Not this one. So I got there and he was in a dressing robe and he's like, I'll just be 2 seconds, got to get changed.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. And then he naked manned me. He just went into another room and then came out naked as if
so he got changed.
What?
Yeah.
He got changed into his birthday suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no thank you. So I went and got myself dinner.
Real feed. Well, that's on him, Ali. If he had a better rig, then you would have been like, oh, yeah.
So wait, can I get this straight? I get this straight. He was in a robe. Yeah. He's walked into another room and then come out naked.
Yeah, he said, I'll just go and get changed, which he did.
Yeah.
And then offered dinner.
I think he was insinuating he himself might be the dinner.
Oh, so
and
sausages.
I genuinely thought, this is before Tinder. I thought it was going to be like a real date, and then it wasn't. It was just a naked man, and I'm like, well,
in Medina.
Not really much there. I better go get a real feed.
Well, you know what? This is how the men in Medina snag their women. And there are a lot of people listening in Medina right now that they go, yeah, this is how I met my partner.
I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. Don't go to their house on the first date when you haven't met them before. Just safety-wise. If you haven't met them before, like going to their house first up is not a good idea.
Why? What could go wrong?
Public places, people. Public places. Meet them there. Have your own transport.
Very interesting move.
Or have a Tinder date waiting outside of the car.
That's right. I listen to a lot of murder podcasts. Yeah. I know how it goes.
Oh, that was romantic, Ali,
and
I think you should have been with him. Let's
Thank
go
you.
to Jade in Ellenbrook. Hi, Jade.
Good morning, guys.
Hey,
Jade. Okay.
We're talking about sad dates or short dates or dates where you're possibly used.
What have you got for us?
Yeah, so I was chatting to this girl on Tinder. Everything seemed to be going really well. She was out of state at the time, so she was over east. Chatting away to her, and then one day she'd asked me if I could do a favour for her.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. She wanted me to go to a florist, pick up some flowers and deliver them to a friend for her.
Oh, that's nice.
And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
they were like, oh, she's staying in a hotel. And I'm like, okay, no worries. So I went to this florist, picked up the flowers. They were red roses.
Yeah.
And then she gave me the address to deliver them to.
Yeah. Yep.
It was actually a hotel.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I've knocked on the door. There was no answer. So I've texted, make sure I was at the right door. Everything was all good. They're like, look, just leave them at the door. So I've left them at the door and I've left.
Yeah.
Never heard from them again.
As a flower courier.
Jade.
What is that about?
Is that once again, is that mean and genius?
Mean genius. That is mean genius. But Jade,
Stop using Tinder as a courier service.
Jade, you didn't pay for the flowers, you just delivered them?
I just delivered them, yeah. I didn't pay for them. Luckily that.
So the florists must have said, we can't deliver them. We don't have enough delivery drivers. And so this person has got you to do it.
Yep.
Jade, can I have your number when I can't even bother paying the Uber Eats fee?
Jade, that's not fair. That's not fair.
Jade, you got used big time, man. You're a nice guy.
Jade, have you found love since?
I have.
Oh,
yes.
What have you had to do for her?
I I actually had to get her a visa to come here and live in Australia.
Oh, there you go. Well,
red flag, Jade.
No.
what country, Jade? What country did you come from?
Very happy.
She's from America.
Oh, good times.
Interesting.
Happily married now for 5.5 years.
I've seen
well
90
done,
Day
mate.
Fiance. I know how it works.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
We are talking dating. It's a minefield out there.
Yeah.
Sad dates, short dates.
Dates where you were used.
Yeah.
Dates where you were used,
I know.
though. They're terrible, but yet super clever. Let's go to Vicky in Perth. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, how you going?
Good, Vicky.
All right, so how long ago was this, Vicky?
It was a few years ago now, about 4 or 5 years ago. I thought I'd give online dating a go.
Yes.
And, got a little bit nervous about it, got all dressed, thought I looked great. And the guy said, I'll meet you at this pub. So I was waiting upstairs and he walked in and he went, no, this isn't going to work. And he walked out.
No, Vicky.
Purely on appearance,
Vicky,
Jack.
don't laugh, Vicky.
I mean, I don't think I'm ugly.
Oh, Vicky, what were you wearing? What were you
Vicky?
wearing? Talk us through the outfit.
Oh, goodness, I can't remember what I was wearing, but I can say I would have looked pretty good.
Yeah, of course.
And looked like your photo on your online profile?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was no
exactly.
bait and switch there.
No, there was it was really bizarre.
Vicky,
It
so
would have to be the shortest date in history.
Vicky, I do have to say, right, that's happened to, I reckon, a lot of people.
Yes.
So can you explain the way you felt after that in case there is somebody that is planning on perhaps doing that to somebody else?
To be honest, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely shocked. I was like, what the? I thought, well, just as well, it's probably a mental case.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Vicky,
yeah.
did a lot of people know that you were going on the date? Because sometimes you tell friends that you're going on a date, and then they ring up the next day.
Yeah, I told people what happened, and they were shocked too. They're like, "What? That's crazy."
Yeah.
Hey, Vicky, how did that date go?
Yeah, Vicky, did you wear that outfit again, or?
I would have incinerated it, Vicky.
I would have incinerated and salted the earth.
Me. I reckon I would have looked hot.
Well, there you go. Nothing worse when you're feeling good.
I think it's safe to say it just wasn't the one for you.
Nah, good, Vicky.
Vicky looks down and goes, oh, well, culottes don't work. All right.
Noted.
Got it.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Time to catch up with one of our absolute favourites, actually. That is Neroli Meadows.
The pride of Collie?
Yeah, she's a pride of Collie, as we know. And Neroli's been travelling the world over the last couple of years just commentating
Living
on
the dream.
all kinds of sports.
Isn't it amazing? Because we cannot even think about getting on a plane.
No.
You've been going everywhere.
Both of you and I have been to Kalgoorlie. That's the longest flight we've taken.
Yeah.
Nez, good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, as you mentioned, I've already been on 17 flights this year. I don't know how many different time zones.
Get
Just want to tell you guys, I spent 61 hours in transit just to get home to Perth for 72 hours because I desperately needed to see my family for the first time in 10 months. And when I flew out of the international airport in Perth, it was dead.
A ghost town.
People, get back on board. We're opened up. You've opened up.
Hey, Nez, I want to just go back a few steps. So a few months ago, we saw you doing some stuff with ESPN, which you do a lot of stuff with, should I say. But were you actually at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so I hosted from within the ground with Phil Murphy. Yeah, so we were hosting the pre-shows from Disneyland, so that was the greatest thing ever. And our show was our little Australian show was going on the big screen at Disneyland, and we had a live audience, which was epic. And I had this one kid who was like 11, 12 years old, came up to me at the Super Bowl and said, "Excuse me, are you the lady that was hosting at Disneyland yesterday?" And I'm like, "What is my life?" And it's connected to the big boss.
It's better than the kid coming up and going, "Are you Ursula the Sea Witch?"
Exactly. So that was cool. And then, Super Bowl from within the ground, so far, unbelievable. It's a $5.5 billion stadium, and that's in US dollars.
Yeah.
So it's like $8 billion Australian.
Yeah.
It's insane. So that was great. And then, NBA All-Star Weekend after that. So
I mean, that's unbelievable in and of itself. There's change of gear for a second. Where were you exactly when you heard the news that Warnie had passed away?
Oh, I just got goosebumps when you bring it up. So it was a little bit like Dean Jones a couple of years ago because I was doing the IPL then. So I was in a lift with Michael Kasparovich, who's a lovely man, by the way, and I saw it on, somebody messaged me the social media link, and I sort of, moments after it had sort of been released, and I just swore, to be honest, I was in shock with it. And Cass was like, what's going on? And, you know, then you have that moment where you realise, like, yeah, I worked with Morty, but then there's somebody standing in front of me who played with him.
Yeah.
And you're then got to deliver that news. And I just flat out told him, and he was like, what? And I said, yeah. And we got out the lift. It was this, once again, that weird movie reference, but it's that weird thing that you get out the lift and something is completely shifted from the moment that you got in the lift.
Yeah, of course.
It was really weird. And we stepped out and saw Simon Kadich there, who once again I knew he plays with him quite a lot. And also, as a West Australian background, you know, we devastated about Rod Marsh only 24 hours.
Yeah, of course.
Earlier.
Yeah.
And I just looked at Kat. I said, have you been on your phone? And he said, yeah. He goes, what the hell? And then Kat and I go back a long time now. So we sort of just held each other for quite a while and all just really stood in shock, I guess. And it was just, I was just most sad for his kids.
Yeah.
That's what really got me. Like I said, I knew Warnie a fair bit through working with him and interviewing him over many years and stuff like that. And he was always, you know, nice and respectful to me. But it's his kids that you really feel for because that's just devastating.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So now, Nez, you're over for the IPL, which is getting underway. Big time money in the Indian Premier League, as we know. Players get paid a lot. The people who own the cricket teams are worth like $1 billion type of stuff. How is that? How is being a part of all that?
Honestly, it's basically it's my third season, but it's basically my fourth stint because last year was split into two with everything going on in India last year and, you know, our country banning us and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That was probably a wild thing that happened on the airport when we're on a chartered flight home to Australia and it's live streamed all across every channel on Australia. So I probably should have mentioned that one.
And you had to come home via the Maldives, didn't you?
Exactly, exactly.
Tough.
To be honest, it feels like family now. Like I know all the crew and the commentators, and it's just a really good time. And every time we've been in bubbles because, as you say, there's so much money riding on this. So even now, as the world is sort of emerging, the numbers are still in India such that they don't want to take the risk of being out and about in public. So we're in the same bubble. The commentators are in the same bubble as the franchise CSK, which is MS Dhoni's franchise. The only Aussie in there is Mike Hussey, so that's nice, been catching up with him. But yeah, it's an epic experience, and it's really fun because even though it's all based in the Mumbai area for this one because they don't want to take flights and take the risk. There's fans that are allowed back in India for the first time in 3 years.
Wow.
So it's very, very cool seeing how excited they are and, you know, and actually having live crowd noise and not the can noise.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that was the same in Pakistan as well because it was the first time in 24 years that Australia's been there. And you'd literally walk around the outside and just glance up at the crowd and they would scream like, welcome to Pakistan, thanks for coming. Nice. And I'm like, oh my God, the test is on right now. Stop it.
Yes. You're Merv using it on the boundary line.
Yeah. Seriously, I should have started doing the warm-up, shouldn't I?
Let's just quickly talk about your podcast because you're absolutely killing it. You're an award winner these days. A new series full of more amazing athletes revealing their stories.
Yeah, thanks so much. I know you've been a big supporter of it since the beginning, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, it's been another incredible series. I just got a message actually from one about Kate Campbell, which came out the other day, and just saying how empowering it was, and particularly for women. But I also hope that men listen to them as well, athletes in particular, because it just gives such a unique insight into what it's like being a woman in that world. And yeah, it's been receiving great feedback, and I'm really proud of it. So I've got one coming out this week with a guy who's got millions and millions of followers. So I'm hoping that's received well. He talks like he's never been, never really spoken before. So he really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So I hope everyone listening enjoys it too. That's out Wednesday.
Yeah, you're very good at what you do, Nez.
Mate, great stuff. You're living the dream, mate. Good on you. Keep it up.
Thanks,
Nez.
Bye-bye.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
Let's go on a journey. All right. So the other night, Sunday night, I had a dream. I had a dream that my kettle was broken.
I think that Martin Luther King had the same dream.
Can I just say that's more of a nightmare than a dream?
It was full on, Shaun. It's a Smeg kettle. It's about $200, nearly $300.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're just boasting.
Yeah, no, you are. Whatever.
Money.
So piles of money. Anyway.
Everyone's got a Smeg one.
Have they?
What do you got?
Morphy Richards.
Oh, okay. Says a lot about you. What do you got, Shaun?
I don't know, Hobbs and somebody?
Oh, Calvin and Hobbs.
Something like that.
Anyway, so I woke up to make my tea to come to work, and my kettle was broken.
So you dreamt your kettle was broken, and then your kettle was broken.
Yeah. So I was like, this is too much. So then yesterday, we as a family were online looking at kettles.
As you do.
Working out, what the replacement
Nathan has a
colour's gonna
lot
be.
of decisions to make around this. Matte black or shiny
Matte
black?
or shiny black.
What to do?
I don't know. So, and then yesterday I was going to go straight to Halves Norms, get myself a kettle, and then I got home. I was just on autopilot. And when I got home, I realised I didn't go to Harvey Norman. I was like, my life.
So this morning when you woke up, you wanted to make sure that you've filled your cup and have a thing, but you know your kettle's broken. What a nightmare. That's a nightmare.
Yeah. So anyway, but yesterday I had a bit of a nap during the day. And because we've been speaking about the kettle so much, I had a dream. Now, Shaun, what did you tell me yesterday? You told me when we were talking about my broken kettle to do something.
Well, you dreamed that you would have a broken kettle, and you woke up and that's what happened. I said, well, why didn't you just dream the opposite, that your kettle's now working, that you fixed your kettle?
So that must have crept into my brain, because when I had my 40-minute nap, I had a dream that my kettle was working. So
this is what you're wasting your dreams on?
I know. And then I woke up and then I went, okay, that's full on. Walked over to my kettle, turned it on.
It's working.
Oh, yeah.
My kettle was working. Now, my thing is, why can't I dream about the lotto numbers?
No, that'd be a waste.
Or anything. The MSWA home lottery. That'd be good.
God.
What about that?
Why? Now my prophecies are coming true, and it's about a bloody kettle.
Where's the man of your dreams?
So where was that? Like, Nathan, be here on this certain time, and you'll meet the person you're supposed to be with. No, I get a bloody appliance.
But on the upside, your kettle's working.
The kettle's working. You got to look at the positives. I don't know. Maybe the big guy upstairs, whoever is upstairs, decided. We don't want those things. We want to make sure that his life continues in a sprightly manner. And the kettle or a toaster
is of prime importance.
I was going to say your mop, but things like that.
You leave my mop out of this. You leave my mop out of this.
When I was a little kid, I used to have a persistent dream of there being a bull where a bull shouldn't be, and because I grew up on a farm.
Where was the bull?
You dream you're in town and there's a bull there, you go, oh, that's not right. And then and around the house, I would always dream that. And then one day there was a bull, like literally just ambling along the lawn. And I'm like,
Vicar, Linda.
Exactly.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
We're talking about when you use the power of dreaming to fix small appliances in your house.
So ridiculous.
Well, first you broke your kettle, then you fixed your kettle.
Imagine having a dream of something to come true and you want it to be the lotto numbers or something really big and significant, and I dream about whether my kettle's working or not. If I dream my kettle's broken, it breaks. If I dream my kettle's working, it works.
It's full on, man.
What a stupid power.
Nadine's in Forestfield. Morning.
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good, Nadine.
Kettle's working, so everything's looking up.
I know, right? I can't live without the kettle.
What dream of yours came true, Nadine?
All right, years ago, I was very pregnant with my second child, and I dreamt my grandfather lived a couple of k's away.
Yeah.
And as it was winter, he was bringing me a load of firewood.
Yes.
In my dream, I dreamt that the battery blew up in the car.
Yes.
And the car set on fire, and my grandfather was badly hurt.
Oh,
I woke up crying in my dream.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The next morning, I got on the phone. I rang my grandfather, said, I don't want the firewood, don't bring it. He goes, I was just going to call you because the car won't start. I think it's the battery.
Oh, Nadine, ahead of the game.
You broke your grandfather's car battery. Well done.
Yeah, no, it just wouldn't start. He said, I don't know what's going on. He said, I think it's the battery. And I'm like, well, I had this dream.
Oh,
don't
wow. Nadine, did you have a nap then and then dream the battery was working so we could get around? Or?
No, but I was like, I'd pay for the battery because it was that bloody cold. And on the day my second daughter was born was actually the coldest day in years. It was August 25th, 1992.
And you remember?
Well, she was a daughter.
I remember my daughter's birthday.
A child came out of a hoo-hoo. She remembers.
I remember that. I remember that too.
Thanks, Nadine. Amy's in Golden Bay. Hello.
Morning.
Hi, Ames. Okay, what did you dream about?
I know you love a story about my other half.
Yes.
So,
Amy, that's right.
Amy,
it's
we're
this
ready.
Amy.
Yeah.
Brace ourselves.
So Dan had gone to work and he'd come home and he said, there's this raffle, this Christmas raffle, and there's like 20 prizes and I'm going to win the main one. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you think you're going to win the main? I had a dream last night. I'm going to win this raffle. I said, okay, awesome. Like, good on you. Anyway, went on about it all week. So he came home on Friday after the raffle was drawn. He's like, I won. I was like, oh, sweet. Like the top prize, like $1,000. He goes, I won a $10 Coles gift card and a bottle of Dukkha.
That works.
Dukkha's delicious.
Serious. He'd gone on about this raffle all week and he brings home this thing of Dukkha. He was still super excited that his dream had come true, but it was the most pathetic thing I've ever
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The Socceroos are in action tomorrow morning, our time. They're playing Saudi Arabia for a bit of a dead rubber, actually, because Socceroos lost to Japan last week, which they cannot automatically qualify for the World Cup.
It's a dead rubber.
The result has no effect on the outcome.
So they're going to finish third in their group.
Regardless.
I thought they were getting rubber.
Rubber thongs, something.
I don't know.
Just
dead
dead
rubber.
stuff.
Just dead rubber. Is dead rubber a term that you use in different sports?
It's tennis.
Yeah.
Tennis.
Dead
Davis
rubber.
Cup talks about it, don't they?
dead rubber.
I've come to this point in my life
And not knowing
without
dead rubber.
ever hearing dead rubber.
Wow. Well, we're learning every day, aren't we? If you're not
Not
winning,
winning,
you're
you're
learning. There we go. So,
Ring your bell again.
And we're not winning.
the thing about this is soccer in Australia is always looking for the next leg up by having success. So back in the day, for our memory, Harry Kuehl,
Tim Cahill.
Tim Cahill, all those guys, they were the flag bearers, and now they've had a bit of a falling. There's been a fall away from the standard of the top level players. So clearly, we're not going to be able to qualify for the World Cup. But they're saying there's a possibility. Now, here's the possibility we can get into the World Cup.
Mathematically, it's possible. Here we go.
So Australia gets to play its next game after this one. That doesn't matter, Nath. They play a knockout game against the UAE. Iraq or Lebanon. One of those three teams will finish third in their group. You have to win that. Then you get to play the fifth placed South American team, which will be Peru, Colombia or Chile.
Well, not knowing anything about it, will they be able to beat us?
Yes.
Straight out, wouldn't they?
I think so.
They were born with the balls on their feet.
Yes, 100%. South America.
I mean, famously, we beat Uruguay a few years ago in a similar situation, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We did that, but, jeez, man, this is
But
hard
we were
press.
good
This is a lot of
then.
hoops to
So
jump
say
in.
if we do,
Then we're in the World Cup.
then we're in the
Then they're
World Cup.
Then they've got to go and play in Qatar.
Yeah, and then they've got
In
to
the
play
heat.
the nations who are qualified because they beat all these other nations.
You
like they're
wouldn't
standing
bother, would
still.
you? How embarrassing.
Take the rest of the year off.
They're clearly not up to it at the moment. I don't see them qualifying for the World Cup. Graham Arnold, the coach, just on Fox Sports before, they must have asked him a question and he said, look, my wife's not handling she's not dealing with it very well, the fact that people are questioning whether I'll get the sack or not.
Yeah, okay.
If you can't win a game
And also,
and you're a national coach, aren't you?
And he's been in the coaching game for a while. That's just the way it is in the coaching game.
don't
Surely
you
she
agree,
should be
like,
used to
it's
it.
really strange.
But if anyone's any good, don't they get taken to another country? So how
Yeah,
are
but
we
they
ever
still come
gonna-
back and play.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
they can play
okay.
just to the.
But you just
EFL,
don't have
mate.
anyone that's any good at the moment.
No, not to the level. We've got a few people playing in Europe, but they're not a Tim Cahill who scores all the
Normally
time
what's
for
happened,
Everton
though,
or Harry.
When you have had that golden era, the juniors come through, and now should be about the time that we're seeing that, because you get a swell in numbers when there's success of the kids playing, right?
Yes.
So they turn to this sport because it's on TV and they've got a hero. Why aren't we seeing that pay off now?
I blame TikTok.
Yeah, possibly.
They're all becoming TikTok stars.
I don't know if it's whether they got the coaching wrong in the development phase over the last 10 years, because it's a 10-year period.
Yeah, that's
probably,
right. That's what you're talking
had to
about.
look at,
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've got that wrong with the national coaches or the heads of.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just could be one of those year groups that
just dud.
Just sucked.
Just sucked. Yeah.
There was
Just
one at every school.
The talentless
there was.
one.
Yeah, the dud year.
And finally, of course, we saw last night that Buddy Franklin got his football back.
Buddy got his ball back.
Alex, who handed the ball back, was given memberships to the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, 2 5-year memberships.
I didn't know it was 5 years. That's mint. I was wondering how long it was now. That's
Yeah.
great.
He got a signed ball and then signed pair of boots.
Yep.
Some other merch.
Yeah, I reckon he's come at it very, very well. And
And
good
he
luck
looks
to him
good
as well.
too. Do you know what I mean? Because he
giving the
gave
ball
it back. Yeah, yeah.
One thing that in all the years watching Buddy Franklin play and being an absolute superstar, doesn't do much media. So
No.
I'm wondering how
He's a pretty quiet guy.
he was saying how he enjoyed the night and
Do you think that he wanted to be there though?
No.
Like, you
Oh,
know,
it's not doing the press
This is like, if you want your ball back, you
have
get
to
out
come,
there
and they're going,
ask the
okay, come and
questions.
get your ball back. It's like, oh my God, why did you take her in the first place?
yeah, it's really strange. Out of all the players, and he's been the biggest name in
Yeah.
the game, that he doesn't want to have much to do with it all. But this is him telling us about the moment itself.
I was lapping it up, to be honest with you. A little bit of carry on, but I think when I kicked the 100 goals in 2008, at that stage I was very young, and I thought if I ever got to the 1,000 goals, I'm really going to enjoy it. And so I really soaked it up. At no stage for me personally was I nervous or scared of the crowd, but it was just a special moment. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I found it interesting that he was
Yes.
actually sharing some personal feelings,
Yeah.
that he really loved it and he wanted to lap it up,
Yeah.
given he hides
He's
from
very private.
all this limelight.
Do you
all the
think
time.
anyone else will do it?
No.
Yeah. He
Just the way
might
the
well
game's
be the
played.
last, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
was
don't
actually-
you feel like if you go over 228 how many goals were you? Sorry, that's
Oh, yeah,
games.
no.
How many
93.
goals? If you go over 93,
Maybe 95.
it
Yeah,
probably
so
is
Buddy kicked more than
sort
that
of
in a
showing off
season.
bit.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so,
I mean,
so 93
different position.
in 228 games. It's not bad. Was a lot of them? Was there multiples in some games, or was it
Yes,
just like
multiples.
one?
Yeah, so there's a lot of games without goals, Nath. A
Oh,
lot
so-
of games.
were they?
Oh,
And we
yeah,
just- yeah, but
absolutely.
is that like?
But on Buddy, 1,000 goals, I don't think it'll be done before.
Yeah.
Gary Ablett and Jason Dunstall and Tony Lockett
Yeah.
of an era.
Yeah.
Doug Wade, I think, was another one. And Peter Hudson,
What's
the
most goals you got in one game?
I think 4.
4. Did you feel
That's
good
not
that
too bad.
day?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
pep
was
in
strutting
your
around
step.
Freo. Don't worry about that.
Hey,
Right down
getting
the
free
big house.
coffees. Yeah, no worries. I don't drink coffee. I'll have
bourbon
one.
and Coke, thanks. At the big house.
Midori Illusion
On
Shaker.
Nova.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Holiday trailers.
Head over to BCF to find a great range of deals on everything you need for an epic Easter outdoors. Boating, camping, fishing is BCFing fun.
Okay, team, we can do this.
Okay.
We're about to play a round of holiday trailers, where all our contestants need to do is identify what item of holiday equipment or holiday activity is being suggested by the holiday trailer that we play.
I feel a good game coming
Me
on
too.
because we have Steve and Derek who've put their hands up. Steve, good morning.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Steve, we trust you right now. You know that.
Oh, no pressure.
We trust that you're going to do a good job.
We were hurt very badly yesterday, Steve. Very badly. Did you hear it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not what we want to happen, Steve. Have you been playing along?
Yeah.
And you're pretty good at it, aren't you?
I don't like to float my own boat.
But he certainly
Hey,
knew what a motorbike on water was.
That could be. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
That could be an answer, floating one's boat. So
yeah, that's true.
you're halfway there. You're going against Derek from Southern River. Hi, Derek.
Hey, team.
Hey, Derek.
We trust you, Derek.
Thank you. Jet ski.
He's on. The boys are on.
All right, we're up and about.
Jet ski,
Here's
jet
what's
ski
going to
is the
happen.
motto of the year so
Exactly.
far.
We will play our holiday trailer. If you think you know the item or activity it is suggesting, buzz in with your name. Don't say jet ski because that won't be the answer today. You get it right, you get a point. It's the first to 3. Let's test buzzers. Steve?
Steve.
Lovely. Derek?
Derek.
Beautiful.
Oh, loving
I've
it.
got faith in this
Oh,
already.
mate, the boys are on.
It's
All right,
not in
guys.
I can
doubt.
feel it.
All right, guys,
It's gonna be an
here
epic
is
battle.
trailer number 1.
These holidays, there will be plenty of ups and downs when your shoes are off as you double bounce the day away.
Derek.
Steve
Trampoline.
is
We're
correct.
Gee, Derek, that was a close one, boys.
This
well
is-
done.
This is
Just
great.
behind then, Derek. Just behind.
Well done. Steve leads 1-0.
Jet ski. Here is trailer number 2.
These holidays, whether you're out for a run or down at the beach, once you slop it on, you'll be free.
Steve?
Sun cream.
Yes, Steve. Steve
Derek's
leads
right
2-0.
there. Derek's
I know.
right there.
Steve leads 2, Derek 0.
I can do it.
Okay.
Come on, Derek.
Jet ski.
Send it in overtime, Derek. Come on.
All right, everyone. Here is trailer number 3.
These holidays, it's white, it's soft. You shove it on a stick. BYO campfire.
Yes, Derek.
Marshmallows.
Yeah, the boys. I'm so happy with how this is going.
Properly? I mean, that's how low our standards are.
Interesting.
I'm just having a really great time.
Steve leads 2-1.
Okay.
Here goes number 4.
Here's
Okay, you
another
ready?
one.
Here we go.
These holidays, who needs yellow polka dots? Showcase that summer body with pride.
Derek.
Yes, Derek.
Bikini.
Yes, Derek. All right. It comes down to this one. It's 2-all.
It's a
Next
game.
point wins.
It's the game of the week, that's for sure.
Was designed.
Yes.
Definitely the game of the week.
Oh my God, it's like Venus versus Serena.
Yes.
Okay,
here we are with the
For the win.
last trailer.
These holidays, around the campfire, hold me under your chin, and I'll make a scary tale.
Yes, Derek.
Torch.
Derek's done it. What an epic come from behind win. Derek.
Everyone, jet ski, jet ski, jet ski.
Power of the jet ski. You won $500 from BCF,
Zach
Derek.
from Production's losing it outside.
Thank you, Tim.
Excited.
Well done.
Well done to you too, Steve.
Steve,
Good
you
game.
were great as well.
Great game.
Thank you. You've restored our faith in the
Humanity.
greater population.
Yeah.
That was really great way to
great.
finish the show.
Thank you.
We're going to
We're
do
so
it again,
relieved.
and we'd like to have a repeat of that.
We would.
Steve and Derek are in the running for first class and 50K as well.
They certainly
and
are.
they
They
deserve to
deserve-
be.
You know
Yeah,
what? Good
Nat.
luck. I'd be very happy if either of you won that. Be very happy. Zach, get in here.
Look how happy Zach is.
Zach! He
Yes.
does production. He's been making these. Zach, how do you
Yes.
feel?
Fantastic. I was just making more, but I don't have to anymore.
Hey, there's still 3 days to go, Zach. Don't get too
Jet ski.
This is Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
We caught up with Olivia and Jackson from Married at First Sight, perhaps the most controversial couple of all.
Now, we know when people will hear the name Olivia at the moment, they see red. We chose to approach this interview with calmness. And we didn't want to really attack anybody because at the moment we know that Olivia is pretty fragile with the hate that she's getting.
We just wanted to hear her side of the story as
Yes.
well. You know, give them a fair hearing. So have a listen.
Hello,
Hey,
good morning.
How happy are you that this is over?
I agree.
Oh my God.
Stoked.
Oh, my God.
Have you been with everybody buying into, well, number one, your relationship, what happened last night, but also the fact that during the last week or last couple of weeks, you haven't been seen in the greatest light. That's probably particular at you, Olivia.
Yeah, I haven't been very well. I've definitely been struggling and stuff like that. Just thank God I have Jackson.
Yeah.
It did seem from the outset that you two will make it. It really did. So, you know, if getting on a show and wanting to find a partner is
the
the
objective,
goal, then
you did it.
you're done.
That is quite amazing, Nathan.
Yeah,
That is
it is
quite
quite
amazing.
amazing when you see some of the
Yeah,
other...
I mean, the odds are against it, really. So the fact that you have...
Yeah, so put that in your hat and run with it. But
Thank you.
But there's so much more to talk about, obviously.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, with
Liv.
the hindsight of, you know, with the benefit of hindsight, looking back on it now, you've had some time to reflect on it. Probably seems like a dim, distant memory, except that you can watch it every night for the last few weeks.
Oh no, it's a whole new story watching it back.
Yeah. So, what's your take on it now? Because we know what you thought at the time. We know how you couldn't
perceive things.
Yeah, how you couldn't look at that situation with empathy at the time. Looking back at it now, what are your thoughts?
Like the photo. Sorry, the photos.
Yeah,
the stuff with Dom.
That's a good start. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Look, I like every. How do I say this well?
Just say it.
I always had empathy. I always had empathy for it. It was just the way that it came out and was sort of like it was never like a shaming thing or anything like that. It was more of like we're not supposed to have this platform, was my understanding of it. And it was like, I guess kind of like a thing of like, why is like, I don't know. I was pissed that she wasn't kicked off the show after the glass smashing thing. And I'm not explaining myself very well.
No. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
But I want to.
Yeah.
But say even the glass smashing thing, Liv.
Yeah.
She wasn't like waving it in your face like a weapon, and you can see that now. You can see that now.
So I actually watched the raw footage, and I was definitely being dramatic, but like in the raw footage, she smashed it, stood up, and then threw it to the side.
Yeah, but wasn't it you?
Like with all the adrenaline pumping and stuff like that, it feels like it's in slow motion. So I see the glass in her hand, and she very dramatically like throws it in front of Ella. Yeah. And like for me at the time, like you have to remember, I was freaking like crapping myself. I was terrified. I've never been in a situation like that before. And then like the first thing I said when I got pulled aside to do my Voxy was like, oh my God, I shouldn't have talked about her voice. That's not what I meant.
Yep.
And then I have to go and explain it to everybody. And I'm there like just saying my side of things, which when you've got blood pumping, adrenaline rushing, and I'm already a very dramatic person, hence why I'm on reality TV.
Yeah.
It's going to come out like that.
Yeah.
So there was more than what the viewers saw, but it wasn't as dramatic as I said.
Because I want to add that to when Dom came over to your apartment to speak to you guys about the photo, and then you said that she was yelling at you and like
she clearly wasn't.
She wasn't what we saw. She wasn't.
So with that, I was promised by producers that she wouldn't come to my apartment because I was worried about her intimidating me further after the glass smashing thing. So I was pissed that not only did they allow her to come to my door, but they also came with a film crew. So I was like, hey,
you're on a reality TV show, mate.
Yeah. So like, that was like the only thing that they promised.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like bull crap. And she also went over and screamed at Selena.
Yeah, but she wasn't screaming at you. So, and then that brings me to say when Tamara was speaking ill of Brent at the girls' night, and then your recollection of that to everyone at the table was she never said anything bad about Brent, which we know she obviously does. I want to now go to Jackson. Jackson, with these scenarios, and just going forward, can you trust Olivia's recollection of things when she sees things in such a different way to the way they actually play it out? So say if she's having an issue with what you're worried about, one of your friends, and you're not there, and then she comes back and tells you, how can you trust her recollection of what happened after we've seen that she sees things slightly differently when she's angered?
So, like, I was there for this, like, when Dom came. There was obviously more that you didn't see. Like, there is, she did raise her voice, and that was when we got to the point where Liv just shut the door because she was like, I'm not having that. And then we were in our apartment. These things are meant to be soundproof, and we could hear Dom having a crack at Selena across the hall. Like, that's how kind of loud it was. Like, it's not like a little thing. So in that regard, like, I do trust her because I was there, I saw it, I lived it with her, which is why I have no problem trusting how she says things. With the Brent and Tamara thing, obviously, you know, Tamara has her say in how she does it. And
I wasn't in that conversation as well. Can we just say I was not? I heard something very, very different at the table when the girls were having a conversation. What she said at the bar about Brent waiting tables, I wasn't privy to that.
Yeah, right.
But then, so why did you say she didn't say it then? Why did you have an opinion about that if you weren't part of the conversation?
Because I thought we were talking about how she explained the final date to the group.
Right.
I didn't know that was said at the bar. I thought that Dom was throwing Tamara under the bus for saying that her final date didn't go very well.
Last year, say Bryce and Melissa, right?
Yeah.
When we had them on, we just went them, you know, and we don't. You don't want to. With these reality shows, you don't want to do that anymore. You know what I mean? You want to be able to address it calmly.
And have an open mind.
And have an open mind when you're speaking to people about what they've gone through. But there was. I mean, you know, but Liv, you wouldn't, you went on again. You wouldn't do this again. You wouldn't you wouldn't talk about the poo dress and you wouldn't, and you wouldn't have a battle with someone and you wouldn't circulate a photo. You wouldn't do any of that now, would you? You've learned that, haven't you? Yeah.
Of course not. Like, I wanted to leave after the retreat, and I look back on it now, and I'm like, I wish I just grabbed Jackson and left.
Yeah.
I hate everything, like, that happens socially after that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't regret anything with Jack. Like, I love that we had a beautiful homestay. I know it didn't look like it, but we had a beautiful homestay. We had a beautiful final date, but I wish I went when my gut told me to leave.
Yeah.
And no more reality TV, right?
No more reality TV.
You're not going to the Byron Bays or anything?
Yes, mate. All right, guys. Well, good luck.
Appreciate you talking to us. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having us.
Guys, have a good day.
Bye, guys.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.